friends, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another reading vlog. And this is quite a spontaneous situation because I'm so excited that summer is here. I'm in a summer mood, and I just got back. We just went for a walk, and I walked myself over to a bookstore and I picked up Happy Place by Emily Henry. And I don't know, something just like a wave came over me and I was like, I just need to read this right now. So we are going to be doing some reading sprints and just some cozy summer reading. I'm going to read part of this tonight, get a nice cozy vibe going in here and read this book. Tomorrow, we're going to a lake where I hope to make even more progress, and then we are going to Orlando, which gives me lots of opportunity during travel time and during some downtime. While it's for work, but when I do have some downtime, I will be reading, and I want to finish this book as well as start Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. A highly anticipated release just came out, and I'm so excited to read it. I was actually going to read this one first, but something came over me and I have to read Emily Henry. I don't know. This is the thing. I have tried Emily Henry before and it didn't go super well, but I was told that I read the worst one, which is Beach Read. And I did not get very far into it. I got I definitely DNF'd it before even 20%. So this is going to be interesting, but I do have high hopes for this one. It kind of gives me Sally Rooney vibes, and I feel like I could like it because there's a friend group, and I don't know, something came over me. I want to read it. So that is what we are going to start with, and then we'll see how far I get. I would love to finish this. If I could finish this in 2 days, that would be amazing. And then we can jump to Last Murder at the End of the World for my Orlando trip, but we will see. Right now, it's time to get cozy and get going with my first summer reading vlog. Okay, I am in my cozy all blue outfit. I have my book, I have my candles lit, and I found a summer ambiance that's Maine or East Coast beach house, which is the setting of my book. So that is going to be perfect. And I am going to set a timer for, well, it's already quite late. It's already 9:52. So I'm going to set a timer for 3 hours and hope for the best. Hello. Okay, it is later. It is just after midnight. It is about 12:10, and I'm in a new filming. I've never filmed anything from this angle, but I really like it. But I never film out here. Maybe I should film out here more, but it's a little bit, the height of the camera is a little bit weird. Okay. Okay, to be honest, did not get as much reading done as I had hoped. I had hoped to read for 2 to 3 hours, and I think I barely, maybe barely got one full solid hour in there. Just ended up not reading for as long as I wanted to. But I did want to come and give my first impressions of Happy Place because I did get to about between 50 to 70 pages. So not super far, but I did want to give my first impressions because, well, this is very much a new experience for me because I don't read a lot of romance, and especially this contemporary romance is just not a genre that I have a lot of experience with. So it's very interesting to see how I'm going to react to the things that I think most people expect or even want in their contemporary romances. So yeah, okay, so the reason I picked Happy Place over all the other Emily Henry is because I really loved the idea of this friend group at the core of the story. Then they're going to this beach house that they go to every single summer, and it's about that friend group and the relationship dynamics between all of them. I was really interested in that, and I thought that would be the area that I would enjoy, and I also just really like the setting in this New England summer house. I'm such a sucker for a good summer house story, so that's why I picked this one. And okay, there's three things that I'm gonna say. Three minor gripes at this point. The first one is, this is like just a really tiny, like, this is just something that is not even in just romance books, it's really any book. It's like such a pet peeve of mine when characters will like shorten their friend's name as like a nickname, especially when the name like doesn't like need to be shortened. Like, one of the characters' name is Cleo and someone just calls her Clee, and I just think that's so bizarre and so weird, and I really hate when authors do that. Like, they make the most unnatural like nicknames, and they don't even try to make a nickname, they just like shorten it, and it's just really obvious that they didn't really try and think of anything creative. And I just that's a pet peeve of mine. The second thing, so the book, like the way that I understood the book was that this couple that's going to their yearly hangout with like week with their friends, they have recently broken up and they don't want to tell their friends because it would like ruin the mood of the whole week. I love that setup so much. I think that is such a great like kickoff. Like, I love it. I love that. The way that it actually happens in the book, though, I feel like is quite convoluted and unnecessarily so. Like, it's not convoluted in like a fun way that they like kind of got, roped into this weird situation. It's like unnecessarily convoluted because I feel like there was just like a much simpler avenue to get to that setup, and what happened is actually like so convoluted that it feels just like unnatural. Like, I don't see a world in which this would happen this way, I guess. And I mean, I know like it's a little romance book. I need to turn my brain off a little bit more for this, but I just can't help it, I'm just like, why did Emily Henry choose to set it up this way? I just felt like it was really weird, and I would have preferred a much more like simple like thing than what ended up happening that like creates the reason that they're like in this situation. So I don't know, that's like a very minor gripe, honestly. I'm trying to just like, I'm like, okay, I didn't love that, but okay, whatever, I'll just, whatever, moving on. And then the third thing, the last thing is their banter, their like dialogue, the way that they talk to each other. It is just like, it's not funny. Like, they're not funny people right now, and I don't think it's like super charming. Like, I feel like the dialogue is kind of corny and a little bit just like again, doesn't feel like supernatural. Like, it seems like the dialogue sounds like what someone would think dialogue sounds like, but it's not. It doesn't sound like what real people sound like. So that is a little bit frustrating. When I like saying all this together, it sounds like I'm not enjoying it, and there are parts I'm enjoying it. I love the setting. I love how like breezy it is to read. Like, I think it's just easy to read. I don't necessarily love the writing or anything, but like, it's just easy to read. So I definitely understand why so many people pick up Emily Henry and like just, I guess, romances in general. I don't know. I don't read romances, so like I have really no frame of reference, but it's not like the worst. It's not the most cringy. It's just, yeah, it just is a little bit, it's kind of annoying to me, but I'm going to stick it out. I'm gonna read the whole thing. I wish I could have gotten farther tonight. If I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow, I've got a lot of book left. This book is like over 350 pages, so I've got some work to put in, but initial thoughts. All right, let's try it. Let's try it out. I don't know how to feel. I'm gonna need them to get cuter. I'm gonna need the banter to get better. I'm gonna need the characters to be a little bit stronger. I don't know what I expected. All right, I will check in tomorrow. Okay, it is the next morning and we are heading out to a lake. We've actually never been to this one. I'm bringing Happy Place. It is my goal to finish this today in 24 hours, but like, if I'm gonna do that, I need to just pick up the pace quite a bit. And I'm going to obviously enjoy the lake too, but yeah, we've never been to this one, so we'll be interested to see how it stacks up. We know a lot of lakes that we usually go to. We have a lot of our favorites, but we're gonna try a new one today, and I hope that it will be the perfect atmosphere for reading this book. Again, I got a little bit pink right here, which is not what I'm trying to do. I am very intense about my sun situation now. Like, I used to get absolutely destroyed in the sun, and I'm trying to avoid that now. Also, my camera angle, what's going on here? I think that's a little bit better. Okay. It's the end of the day. I had a wonderful day at the lake, got some ice cream, we made tofu breakfast burritos at home. I'm not gonna try to explain what that is, but they are really, really good. So that was just a wrap on a perfect day. And the good news is I have finished Happy Place by Emily Henry. I did it. I read this book in less than 24 hours, actually. I basically read it all today. I didn't get a lot done yesterday. And I was going to update you halfway, but I just couldn't find a good spot to film, honestly. And I was just kind of like moving through it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just come back at the end and say my thoughts. So the good news was that I finished it. The bad news is that I really, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Like, why did I feel like I was gonna like it? And listen, if you like this book or any Emily Henry book, like, please do not feel like I'm trying to like come at you for that, or like I'm trying to say that like this book is like bad. I don't know. I can't really be objective when it comes to talking about romances, because contemporary romances, I guess, because I just don't read them. I don't read them. I don't like them. This was like a little experiment to see if I could like one, because I know that Emily Henry is so beloved and I wanted to like it. Like, that's the thing. I really, really wanted to like it. And the entire time I was reading this, I would like say like something would happen that I wouldn't like, and I would like tell my fiance about it. And he's like, at one point he was like, well, that's the thing about the romance books, is like they're meant to be like fluffy and like not think too hard about it and whatever. And I was in a mood for something fluffy, romantic, lighthearted, like summer vibes, like a nice, easy, relaxing feeling. And that is just not like what it's some of it is what I got. But there's a couple big problems that I have with this book. The first, like the most egregious thing, like the most insulting thing that this book did was just be so dull and so boring. Okay, I was just editing. I'm editing this vlog right now, and I have to stop myself from talking. I was being absolutely incoherent in this section. I couldn't even stand to listen to myself talk about it, let alone put you all through that. So let me try to correctly and accurately capture my thoughts on Happy Place now that I have had some time to really digest, think about it, and I've already unhauled it, so here it is. But okay, what I was saying or attempting to say in this section was that my main issue above all else was that I just found these characters so dull, so boring, and they really lacked chemistry too. I didn't find their banter funny. And I think I just wasn't aware that it was going to be kind of an insta-lovey situation. I didn't find myself really understanding why these characters were just like soulmates, like the end all be all for each other. Like, that's just not, I didn't get that from anything. So that's gonna be a big problem in a romance book if you don't see the characters well together. So that was my first problem. Second problem, there are a lot of times in the book that the characters would just act, I don't know, really, really immature. And I get the whole idea that they are coming back in this, college friend group. They're coming to this house, and it's kind of their one time when they get to let loose, and they are kind of reliving the glory days. They're trying to recapture that magic that they had when they were in their 20s in college, and I like that, but I really just felt that Emily Henry didn't do a great job of continuing that conversation, and in reality we just have these characters just like acting like nonsense, and it's really not for any reason. Like, I didn't really feel that anything was being said through that choice, and I don't know, it more than anything, it just annoyed me to have to read about it. Like, there's a very prolonged scene, multiple scenes, where they are using many substances and they're just getting drunk, high, out of control, and it's just not my thing. I don't want to read that. It's not what I came to the book for. So there's that. And then my third thing is that I just felt that the setting was very much underutilized. This is a beautiful, fun setting, an East Coast, Maine, gorgeous mansion in the summertime. Like, this is fantastic. And I don't feel like we really used that setting to its full potential. I mean, more than anything, like, sure, I could be there for the romance, but I was there for the setting. And I don't feel that it was done enough. I just don't think that they did anything with it. So because of that, I don't know. I didn't like this book. I did not like this book at all. I do feel like I tried to give it a fair shot, and I tried to be fair, but it just missed the mark on pretty much everything I was looking for. So yeah, no. I'm gonna stop talking because I should have known that I was not going to enjoy this, because I have not historically enjoyed contemporary romance. That being said, I'm not, completely closed off to the possibility of finding one that I like. I just don't even know where I would be able to start, because to me, this premise, which I loved the premise of these two people who have just broken up but have decided that, like, because they don't want to ruin this 1 week with their friends, that they're gonna kind of like fake date it out. Like, I'm here for that premise. That sounds messy and so fun. And I feel like that story kind of writes itself. Like, the whole setup with the college friend group, like, this story writes itself. But at every single turn, Emily Henry decided to do something weird and convoluted and like try to over explain like the reasoning for that. And I'm just like, it literally writes itself. You did not have to do all of this weird extra stuff that took away from what I thought was like the most interesting aspect. So I'm open to trying to find a contemporary romance that I like, because sometimes I really am in the mood. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I would love to read a cute story and feel that, like that romantic tension, like that would be fun. But I have just yet to come across any contemporary romance that even is like anywhere close to the level of writing that I want it to be. So, well, I am at the very least happy that I read this in a day. Like, it was kind of fun. It's like, okay, like I'm never gonna read it again. I'm probably done with Emily Henry, but that was a fun experience. I read it on the beach, so that was nice, but yeah, we're moving on. So I will be going to Orlando tomorrow. I'm leaving for Orlando, so I will be reading the new Stuart Turton book, and I am excited for that, although I'm also a little bit nervous. Like, I have not heard the best. I've heard very mixed reviews, so I don't know what to think. I don't know. I'm just trying to go in with a very open mind and just like let it happen, and just like try not to jump to any conclusions, and just like let the book unfold. So that was Happy Place. I am going to immediately unhaul this, but you know what? I gave it a shot. I gave Emily Henry a very fair shot. But let me know in the comments if there are any other Emily Henry that I should try just for like the fun of it, or any other romance authors that might, maybe, hopefully be what I'm looking for. Hi, friends. Well, I think I'm just going to end the vlog right here. I did go to Orlando, but I didn't end up really reading anything at all. Like, I don't even think, I barely opened my book, and I did try to get farther in this book, but I just didn't get as far as I wanted to go. And what I can say about this is that I just started, I think I'm on like page 65 or something, and it is very, very odd. It's very weird. There's a lot that I'm trying to keep track of. I don't really know what's going on, and I get that that's the point, especially 65 pages in, like there's still a lot to learn. And I do know that a lot of people have loved this, but I just struggled to get into it, and I just like found myself not really wanting to pick it up, so I didn't do that the entire time I was in Orlando, which, you know what, it's okay. I was in Orlando working, I wasn't on vacation, and I didn't have a lot of downtime. Like actually I didn't really have any downtime that I expected to have. I tried to read this on the plane, didn't end up getting very far, and then on the plane ride home, which is not a very long, it's like less than an hour and a half, so not a long plane ride at all, I didn't even attempt it. I didn't read anything. So that's what happened with this one. I do still plan on reading this. I do plan on getting to it, but I have a couple other books that I just like really, now the timing I have to get to them for other projects. So this one is gonna be put on pause, but not for very long. It will get read. I just don't know when. It's not gonna be in this vlog. The other book, I guess I do have one more to talk about, and that is completely random, but that book is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, a very well-known book. I listened to this one on audiobook the past couple days as I've been like cleaning my house today. I finished it, and I don't really, where else am I gonna talk about it? So I'll talk about it here. This is an Italian translated novel, and it follows the story of two young girls as they're growing up in a small town on the coast of Italy, and it really just follows their friendship, their kind of development from girlhood into adolescence, and it's a very quiet kind of, it's a very internal story about these girls growing older. They're watching their town kind of be forced into modernity and what that does to their relationship and their world beliefs, and it kind of follows their relationship with, you know, the boys they're dating and stuff like that. Like I don't really know exactly how to describe this other than, to me, it reminded me a lot of like Anne of Green Gables, but a more grown-up version of that story. And also this is like a 4-book series, and the whole story, it's kind of just one big long saga. I had gone into this with really, really high hopes, and I thought that this would be the exact kind of story that I would love. Unfortunately, I really found this to be so boring. Like it was so dull. I was like bored to tears the entire time. I almost DNF'd it, I really did, but it was kind of that sunk cost fallacy. I was like, I had listened to almost half of it in one sitting, so I was like, oh my gosh, well I've already put in so much time, so I might as well just keep going. And unfortunately, it just didn't really get better. I liked the first part, honestly. I liked it when they were children, and it was about this girlhood connection, and the girls are kind of both best friends but also rivals, and there was a lot going on there that I really appreciated, but as the story went on, I just didn't care at all. So I will not be continuing with this series. I am happy that I read it because I've been curious about this book for a while now, but this, like, I really did not understand this one at all. I thought it was so boring, and yeah, I'll probably forget about it like very, very quickly. So that's where I'm gonna end my vlog. I have actually read several books. I read Happy Place, I read My Brilliant Friend, and I actually also just finished reading We Used to Live Here, which you've already seen my review for it. I've already posted it. I was actually reading that all this morning. So I have been reading, and it has been fun, and summer is like in full swing. It has been so hot these past couple days, like unbearably hot, but summer is here. It is officially after the start of summer, so we are having a good time. I can already feel my rate of reading like picking up, which always happens in the summer. So I cannot wait to see what other fantastic reads the summer will bring. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this very casual reading vlog. Let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of the books that I mentioned. How did you feel about them? I'd love to have a little chat in the comments about it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, and year. I will see you back here next time. Thanks so much. Bye.